So my friends, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a fresh episode of Planet Zoo and our Hyland Zoo series. My friends, you're going to find the link above to last episode. Do feel free to go check that one out. It was our Komodo Dragon build. One thing I want to say about last episode is that little area doesn't have a name yet, but it, to me, feels like a very key area to the zoo. So my friends, get in your suggestions for what we should be naming the Komodo Dragon area. I'd really love to hear your suggestions. No suggestion is too silly or all that good stuff, so make sure you just get it into me, okay? I want you guys to start getting involved a little bit more with this series. I've noticed that I've gained a few new subscribers, so welcome to the channel if you are new, but also people are really getting involved in the comment section, and I absolutely love to see that. And so with that said, I really want you guys to feel like you can leave me suggestions. Don't just feel, you have to leave comments saying, I love the build, it's great and all the rest of it. If you want to see an animal, if there's a suggestion, or even if you think there's something I could do to a building or an enclosure that might make it look a bit better, feel free to leave those suggestions. We are going to forever evolve the zoo as we go along. I've noticed that a lot of the YouTubers that are doing Planet Zoo, apologies if you can hear that noise in the background, that is my bloody Alexa, and I don't know why, but she is having a bit of a meltdown at the moment. But yeah, I noticed that a lot of YouTubers, their series, some of their zoo builds are coming to an end already, and they're like 25 episodes in, and they've already completed their builds. I can tell you now, this build is not going to be over in 25 episodes. This is going to be quite a long series because, we could potentially go back to certain areas, make them better, or, delete things and rebuild areas as the zoo sort of continues to evolve, essentially. If you're not aware of the story, feel free to go back to episodes 1 and 2 and it will fill you in on the story and how I am basically managing this build and how we're going along. So it isn't going to be over very, very soon. We are going to continue to evolve this series as we go along, ladies and gents. I think one thing I really should do is touch upon what we're actually doing in today's episode, because I've been blurting away for the last 3 minutes or whatever it is, apologising for me bloody Alexa being an absolute moron. Basically today we're going to build some more service buildings for the guests, because next episode 10, we are hopefully going to be opening the doors to the zoo for the very first time, but we only have a couple of toilets and a few restaurants in the zoo at this moment in time. So I felt the need to maybe put some more in, and I thought this would be a perfect way as well to start our Asian area of the zoo, where the Komodo Dragons are. Basically, that is, Asian world where the zoo is concerned. The majority of the animals from that part of the world are going to start to be placed in and around here. We're obviously going to dot some other few little things in here as well, but the theming, although I'm not going over the top, I don't want the theming to look garish. We are going to be theming to some extent. Like, there's going to be certain colours of wood and that sort of thing, and maybe even some nice little details. As you can see with this building, we're going with a particular colour of wood and the trim and stuff, and it all matches up to what we did in the Komodo Dragon exhibit to some extent. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're beginning that sort of area, but also putting in some more service buildings. Right now, you're going to see me building a toilet block. This is going to be separate to the other buildings, but we also in today's episode make some food halls and we make a gift shop as well. There is a couple of bits in today's time-lapse section of the video that you don't see, unfortunately. One of the big reasons for that is it just gave me a heart attack. I was trying to do this raised platform with the path, and I was going back over and over, delete, and I was at it for God knows how long, trying to get it exactly how I wanted it, and it would have just made today's episode really, really long, so I've just cut it from today's episode. There's a weird cut that you're going to see where it just goes from me, building a little bit of the, the food building, and then it cuts to me doing this trim on the edge of this raised platform that's just appeared out of nowhere. But yeah, it was, honestly, I was sitting here and I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. That was one of the big things as well. I was like really getting frustrated with it, so I walked away, had a cup of tea, come back and attacked it, and finally managed to get it to work. And I think when we get to the end of today's episode in the lower section, you're going to see it in all its glory. You're going to agree that actually it really looks good. And I've been trying to say I want to use this this perspective with the zoo. I don't want everything to be on one level. I want to try to raise the terrains, have raised platforms. I want to try and do buildings, higher and lower. And, we managed to disguise a bit of an ugly space as well with a tree. And it just works. It ends up looking really, really nice. And, it all come together at the end of the day. And, the toilet block that you're seeing right now didn't actually end up being that long a build. It was very, very short. I don't know. I think I actually managed to put this together in about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, something like that. Very, very quick. But the second building, because of the shape, because of the way that I wanted to do it, I made it more complicated for myself by raising it up on a platform as well. It took a long, long time, and you're going to see that because that is the majority of the speed build is the second building. This, in a moment, you're going to see the roof go on, it goes into place, and bang, we are done and dusted with the toilet block, and then we move on to the second building. But it was an enjoyable build. It was nice to actually have a break from doing, the habitats, because as nice as it is to be putting the animals in the zoo, it is, my favourite part really, but as nice as it is to be doing that, it's nice to be doing the theming. It's nice to be putting in these buildings as well, because they really make it. They bring everything together, especially the landscape and the environment that we're slowly building up in the zoo as well. And I've been doing a lot of foliage, a lot of planting, off cam. We're not going to take a look at it in today's episode because this is quite a long one. And plus, in episode 10, we're going to take a really good deep look at the zoo, and hopefully that will be out the end of this week, so we can get it in before Christmas, because obviously I'm going to be taking a bit of a break over the Christmas period. My friends, what I do want to really start doing as well is, for any of you that play the Planet Zoo, let me know what you think of the new Arctic DLC, if you've downloaded it yet. I've downloaded it, I've got it. I think some of the wood pieces in it are fantastic. They're going to really help me with creating the buildings and bring more detail, but also the 4 new animals. Fantastic to finally have the polar bear in the game. I think that was a big miss from the initial release of the game. They're a very popular animal in zoos, and obviously with us really aiming towards conservation where this zoo is concerned, they are a massively endangered species. So I think that a polar bear at some point in this zoo will definitely happen. Also, there was the Arctic wolf, the caribou, and there's a breed of goat as well. I think it's like a mountain goat. So 4 new animals and a hell of a lot of themed. I think it's 3 new theme packs, as well as obviously the updating a few things in the game. We can now actually see family trees of animals and all that sort of stuff, but I didn't think it was too bad, for the price. And if they're gonna release their DLC like that, sporadically, a bit similar to the way they did with Planko, I think it'll work out really nice. So some great new additions. Hopefully we'll be able to get at least one of those into the zoo real soon. I've got an idea in mind on where I actually feel like the polar bear would be a nice place to go for it as well. Obviously we've started planning out certain places for certain animals, like the gharial. Obviously that's going to the side of the reptile house. We've got the the mandrill that's going to the side of the gorillas, because that's going to complete that sort of the gorilla kingdom that's got the flamingos and the gorillas in already, but the mandrills are going to go in there as well. So we've started planning this stuff out, and it's nice to have this plan in place already, that I know where 2 animals are going, because if all else fails, I know the next 2 episodes I can concentrate on those 2 things. But what I really want from you guys is for you to let me know what animals you want in the game, in the zoo I should say, next, because at the end of the day, I'm creating a zoo for myself, because I'm the one that's sitting here playing it, but I'm creating a YouTube series, we're creating a story. But it'd be great if you guys, the guys that are watching it, would let me know exactly what you would like to see in the zoo, because you don't ask, you don't get at the end of the day. Something my mum always said to me. But yeah, I don't get, and I can't create it if I don't know what you guys want. And I'm happy to start a brand new area of the zoo if it means that we need to push on out. I've also started putting plans in place as well, I should say, for the tiger, because that ties in with this Asian area. I do need to redo the footprint of the path because I think it's slightly too big, the one that I've used, but that would really help, I think, take the stress off of the gorillas, because it's another big animal and it is slightly away from the gorillas as well. I think I've done some tests where I've opened the doors to the zoo, and we get a lot of obstruction where the gorillas are concerned, but I think because they're one of the higher class animals, one of the high end animals that people want to see, it was always going to be the case. So yeah, we're going all right. I feel like we're getting somewhere. We've got plenty of animals in the zoo. Reptile house complete, and it's nearly complete in its entirety. I did say that in today's episode we were going to finish off the Komodo Dragon viewing platform. Didn't get round to that, unfortunately. I'm going to do that between episodes though, and it'll be done for when I come back for episode 10. It actually needs a lot of work, and I've been playing around with the shapes, and I've managed to make these really interesting like notice boards, and I think that I'm going to make one for the Komodo Dragons as well, and I think it will complete the reptile house beautifully. I just want that reptile house to be perfect. There's a big story where it's concerned. It was a big build. It was the longest build I think we've done to this point. Today's episode is a very long build, and when you consider that this is just food buildings for the guests, it's a bit overkill really that this episode is as long as it is, but it's nice to take a break like I've already said. So let's just touch upon the speed build at the moment, because rarely do I talk about what I'm actually doing. At the moment you can see we've got the general shape of the building, starting to put the detail in. I have a very strange way of working, I think. Some people don't like it, some people think it's all right. I like to do the base structure of the building first, then I like to put the trim top and bottom on, and then I like to put the edges on, and then after that, then it's a free-for-all. It's just what can I be bothered to do next. The detailing for me is a must, because everything needs to look like fantastic, everything has to look beautiful, but the detailing is tedious, and it's that job that I really don't like doing, which is why when you look at the zoo in the live sections, there's these big holes of grass, or there's these big gaps that haven't been finished, and it's just because I get to a point where I just can't do any more detailing, and then I think, let's go and build a new habitat, or let's go and build another building, and so things just get left unfinished, and I just I'm excited after I did this and I see the way it fit. I was then excited to think like, what animal could I fit in and around it. I know that's terrible because you're going to see it in the live section. There's loads of foliage, loads of planting that needs doing, and also I'll wait until you see it in the live section to really explain it properly, but I also want you guys to get involved and try and give me some ideas of these two spaces that need filling, and I don't want them filled up with foliage, I want them filled up with something else, but I'm having a bit of a mind blank. My creative juices are just not flowing where these two spaces are concerned, and it'd be great to get some suggestions from you, the people at home. It would help me massively. But one thing I do want to ask as well, I'm really asking you guys to get involved a lot in the comment section at the moment, but what I really want to hear from you guys is, what is your favourite part of the build so far? Obviously, we're 9 episodes in now, and I think in the 9 episodes we've actually managed to achieve a hell of a lot of stuff in the zoo. As you all know, this is my second channel, and this style of video, this is very different for me, and so my build style is a little slower than maybe the people that are pros on YouTube at this sort of thing, but I'm taking my time, I'm making sure everything looks the way I want it to look. But let me know what you have found to be your favourite part of the zoo. Let me know what you like and what you don't like as well about the way that I put the episodes together. I understand one person said that I maybe chop up my speed build sections a little too much, but I have to do that, unfortunately. I don't feel like I need to explain myself, but I am going to. I have to do that, unfortunately. A lot of the reason why I have to chop it up the way I do is because I stop and start. I'm not one of these people that just goes in and I build consistently and constantly for, say, like 4 hours. I'll build for like an hour, and then I'll take a step back for 5 minutes and take a look. And in those 5 minutes, when you add all those 5 minute chunks up inside a video, they make up like 30-40 minutes. And so obviously I have to cut them out. But by cutting them out, obviously I do cut some other bits out. I cut a lot of the stuff that I do wrong out as well. And you know, there's been occasions where I've shown you that I do make mistakes, but I just don't see the point in me leaving stuff in the episode that eventually just gets deleted anyway. It's a bit of a pointless exercise, and it, you know, it just saves you guys watching something that isn't going to make it in anyway. So yeah, it's just my style of making the video at the moment is a little probably different to everybody else, but it's the way I have to do it because I'm not as confident a builder yet. A lot of people have said they can't believe how good the buildings are. They can't believe how detailed stuff is. You know, a lot of people have praised me for how much they like it, and I really appreciate it. And you know, it's always nice to get praise. It's always nice to hear that people like things. But yeah, as far as my building style is concerned, I'm sure over time it will improve. I'm sure my editing style will improve as well on these videos, but it is all new to me. For anyone that's interested, if they go over on the other channel, you'll see that the editing is very different, and I've got it down to a fine art. So I'm just basically trying to learn to do the same thing over on this channel. But yeah, I know that that's just, you know, just one complaint, but I always love to get, you know, the praise and the criticism. I like, because, you know, without people saying that you did something wrong, or without, you know, someone highlighting something, you can never correct that issue. So it's always good to get a bit of both. But I am so happy that a lot of people are commenting, feel like they can comment, and feel like they can drop, you know, me a line and say, you know, how much they're enjoying the series. You know, as I've already said, it's going to be here for a while. We're not going anywhere fast. We've got plenty of animals in the pipeline, as I've already said in today's episode. But my friends, I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't really feel like there's too much more I need to talk about. Obviously, I'm going to leave you with this beautiful music by this fantastic musician. He's done this wildlife album, and I'm going to continue to use the music during the course of the series. So yeah, enjoy the music, enjoy the rest of this time-lapse speed build section of today's episode, and I'll see you real soon in the live section. And so, my friends, here we are in the live section of today's episode. And we're going to have to try and keep this short and sweet because the build was long. But look at that. Just look at that, ladies and gents. It looks fantastic. And you can see why the build took so long. And I'm sure you can all appreciate the amount of effort that's gone into it. As I did say in the speed build section of the episode today, apologies for not showing you me putting the path down for this raised platform. It was a ball ache. There was no other description for it. It was a pain. I didn't want to place the path all over it. I just wanted it in places where they were going to sit and just where they were going to walk up. So there's literally path here. There's a row of path that comes up here, and then there's path inside the shop, but it doesn't actually cover the whole thing. It was a real difficulty to do it, but I just had this vision that I wanted this raised up off the ground next to the toilets that were lower down. It's just how I kind of see it, and I think it's turned out nice. I have started to do all the planting and those little minor details that I don't tend to put in the time lapse because they're just finicky, they're silly little things. But basically, the reason why I haven't finished this area off completely is I kind of want your feedback and I want some of your ideas. I'm having a bit of a brain fart at the moment and I can't think of ways to get this finished. So I need an idea to put in these two little places. I've put this concrete and the wooden trim round just to match up with what we've done over here, but I need some ideas for in here. I don't want it to be plants. That's the thing, because obviously, as you can see, I've put all the mulch in here because we're going to plant up all in front. There are a few little things I need to do to this. There's one big thing I need to do to the whole zoo, and that's lights. I haven't put many lights in places. I need to start putting lights in under the room trim, under the roof trim, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I need some ideas. But these two little spots here, if you can get your ideas to me, I will, to the best of my ability, try to fill those gaps in with something that you guys suggest. I think that's probably the best thing to do. I'm going to do all the planting off cam between now and next episode, and all those little things like putting in all the lights and all that sort of stuff. As far as the rest of the zoo is concerned, I don't really want to touch upon it too much because next episode, in episode 10, we are going to go and take a walk around the zoo and open the gates to the zoo for the very first time. So basically, I've just been doing little bits and bobs. I've done some planting here, as you can see. Started to put the fence in to separate the Asian section from this part of the zoo. So basically, if you missed last episode, from here we're going to go Asian. We're going to go Asia, Japan, Indonesia, Borneo, India, all these places, and we're going to basically try and fit it all in here. The gharials are going to go in here. They are the crocodiles that I believe are from India. They're going to go in here. We're going to do a waterfall. It's going to look fantastic. That's going to be probably episode 11 actually, now that I think about it, because I want to basically get this area here all filled in before I start to come out here and come out here. So yeah, the gharials will probably be episode 11. So yeah, started doing planting, started doing fencing, all that sort of stuff, all those little things that you need to do. Put bins in, benches, all the boring stuff basically, but it's the stuff that needs to be done, especially if we're going to open the gates to the zoo, because we need to now find out if the zoo is actually gonna work. It's all well and good it looking pretty and beautiful and all that sort of stuff, but it needs to be able to function as well. So yeah, next episode is going to be really, really exciting. So yeah, we've just kind of taken a look at a building in this live section, but I don't want to give what I've been doing away with the rest of the zoo. I've been doing some detailing and I've been feeling some bits in, and I think it's starting to really, really come together. So I don't want to give it away. I'm going to save that for next episode, which, if everything, keep everything crossed, will be on Sunday, because obviously with Christmas being next week, there probably won't be any videos next week. So hopefully on Sunday, episode 10, and we can do Hyland Zoo so far. So yeah, to take from this episode, ladies and gents, you need to basically get your ideas in for these two little front bits out here. Do let me know if you think that this needs anything more, whether or not you think I should change the colour of the building, because I know a lot of the buildings are white with the detail. I need to do some stuff inside here. I need to do all the queues and all that sort of stuff. I think it's turned out pretty nice. And yeah, we are done and dusted for another episode of Hyland Zoo, ladies and gents. But if you are new to the channel, you are enjoying the series, but you've not yet subscribed, make sure you do so by hitting the subscribe button. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. And as I always say, hit that bell notification button so you never miss an upload. Once again, my friends, get involved in the comment section. Leave me your ideas on what you think I should do with this area. But until next time, my friends, make sure you're staying extra, and I'll see you real soon.